So hi everyone, welcome everyone to the day 2 session of SOA automation and testing. So without wasting any further time, I will share my screen and we will start from where we stopped yesterday, okay? We will do a quick review what we have covered yesterday and then we will start today's session. So let me share my screen. I hope you all can see my screen. So you all have unmute privilege, but please don't unmute. If you have something, you can raise your hand, or if any audio issue or something you are facing, then you can highlight it to me by unmuting. Okay. Otherwise, please be on mute. Okay. So yesterday, I will do a quick review of what we have covered yesterday. So yesterday, we discussed about what is software and what is software development lifecycle. Okay. Risk associated with the softwares. I have given several real life examples. Okay. What is the benefit of risk analysis? What is software defect? What are the possible cases? How the defects gets injected in any software? What is the cost to fix the defect and when it will be less? I told you with the help of this diagram. And what is software testing? What is the quality? Why we don't test each and every combination and why we only fix the degree of quality we want to achieve and we do only that much testing, right? And I had given the overview of software testing life cycle as well. How much test is enough? I have already explained this with 2-3 examples. And yesterday I told that there are mainly two types of testing, functional and non-functional. Performance testing comes under non-functional, but we are not covering that. We will be covering only functional testing of SOA. Okay. So before we start SOA, there are few terms which you should know. Okay. If you don't know also, that's fine. I will cover it when I will tell you about the service-oriented architecture, right? So what is component testing? The first thing, okay? Just listen about it, okay? If you are not understanding much, that's fine, okay? I will explain it afterwards. So testing of a standalone application or system, okay? If we test anything as a single entity, okay, without integrating it with anything else, okay, then we call it as component testing. How we do a component testing, I will explain afterwards, okay? Integration. When we integrate all of the many components, okay, and we test it together as a whole, okay, the entire functionality, right? Like Facebook, you can understand, right? It has many functionalities, photos, videos, friend list, status updates, right? A lot of components are there and all the components are integrated together to present you a functionality, right? So if we test such system, it is called as integration testing. Then user acceptance testing, okay? So testing of application from end user's perspective to test if acceptance criteria is met or not. So for every requirement, there is some acceptance criteria, okay? That means when it will be agreed, that means the software is fulfilling the requirement, right? Some acceptance criteria is set in the beginning itself. So that is called as user acceptance testing. A smoke or sanity testing, okay? So this is a test to check the functionality, whether the service is up or not, okay? Like sometimes few services are not up. If you try to open that application also, it is not opening. So in testing terms, we will say that sanity failed, okay? The system is not up itself. Regression testing. So once you have tested a system, okay, and then some modification happens in that, some enhancement happens in that, right? So you again test the system that because of some enhancement, the existing implementation should not break, right? The existing functionality should not break, right? So we do the regression testing. That's why I told you yesterday also that we create a test suite and we keep it in the repository for future use. So after 2 months, 3 months, some enhancement happens in the feature, right? So again, you have to open the same test suite and you have to run the test cases. So that testing is called as regression testing, okay? So the same thing I have told, if you understood the terms we covered above, we are good to start our SOA testing. And there are many more things to know and understand associated with testing, which we will see along the way while learning SOA testing, okay? So overview of testing is done, and we are starting with service-oriented architecture, okay? The name of the course was this only, SOA Testing and Automation. So we will start this now, okay? So what is SOA? Anyone wants to volunteer and tell me what is SOA? Do you have the understanding? Anyone? Anyone knows what is SOA? Other than the abbreviation, right? Service-oriented architecture. What is SOA? Anyone? No? That's fine, okay? So SOA, the abbreviation is service-oriented architecture, okay? So it is a software design, right? It is a software design where application communicates with each other, okay, through several mechanisms, right? So if you will read the first line, it is a style of software design where application components provide services to other components, right? Through a communication protocol over a network. So what is communication protocol? So you remember when I posted in Facebook about this course, right? I had defined that I will respond only to the direct messages. And many of you replied to that post in Facebook, but I didn't reply. Correct? Did I reply to anyone in Facebook? I only replied in Messenger, right? So because
Yes.
I had
Yes.
set one protocol.
Yes.
Okay. I had set a protocol that if you want to join the course, you have to ping me in Messenger, right? You have to send me a direct message. So that is a protocol. Okay. I had set a protocol that I will only respond through this communication channel. If you will try to reach me by any other communication channel, I may not respond. Okay. Or I may not respond correctly. Okay. So the protocol is something like that. Okay. For now, that understanding is fine. Okay. I will further refine this definition when we go along this course. Okay. So a service can be understood as a discrete unit of functionality that can be accessed remotely and acted upon and updated independently. So what is the meaning? So again, we will take an example of Facebook. Okay. So Facebook has many functionalities, right? So when you click on your name, so let me open Facebook for you. Okay. So that you can visualize that. Do I have it open? No. Let me open that. So I'm opening my profile. Okay. So this my profile open, right? So when you click on your name here, right? So your profile opens. So it has a lot of information, right? It has your all the past status updates, right? Whatever you have shared till now, everything is there, right? And you have your about information, your friends information, your photos, your videos, your reels, right? So these things can be understood as discrete services. Get friend list is a discrete functionality. Get photos is a discrete functionality. Get videos, right? It is just discrete functionality. And everything has been architectured together, integrated together to give you the functionality of Facebook. Okay. So the entire Facebook is not one code. Okay. It is not one code written in a continuous mode. Okay. Sometimes you may have observed that your friend list is not loading properly, but other things are working fine. Right. Not only in Facebook, in other websites also. Right. Yesterday, I gave you one example that your credit card information may not be appearing, but you can see your checking and saving account details in your banking app. Right. Because get checking information, get saving information, and get credit card information, three different services are there. Right. And all of those are integrated together to give you a functionality of banking app. Similarly, in Facebook also, a lot of functionalities has been integrated together. Okay. So you got it. What is a service, right? So if Facebook has to update some enhancement, it has to do some enhancement in friend list, right? So they can do it here alone. They need not to open the get photos functionality, right? They need not to open the get videos functionality, right? So suppose in get friend list, they have given some filter, recently added birthdays, work, university, current city, and more, right? Suppose they want to give you some one more filter here. Okay, so they need not to update the entire service, all the services, right? They will just open the get friend list service and they will add one filter there, right? And it will start reflecting for all of us here. You got it? Anyone has any question regarding this? Because this is important. Okay, service is everything in SOA.
Sorry, one quick question.
Mm-hmm.
We receive a message that TD will do their maintenance from 6 to 9 and you won't be able to access this app. So that
Yes.
they are doing the whole.
So it depends. Okay, it depends. So maybe they are doing the some work in the server side. That's why the entire application is down, right?
Mm,
Or
okay.
maybe they are upgrading their
Yes.
the entire application itself. Okay, some other version, some other on some other platform, right? So nowadays you will listen a lot of things. Everything is moving to cloud, right?
Mhm.
So earlier maybe they were exposing their services on some server, some internal server, and now they decided to move it on cloud. So they have to shut down the first server and then they have to start the another server, right? And it will
Okay, got
again need some production level of testing. So that's why they make the application unavailable for time being.
it. Mhm.
Okay. So there can be anything. Okay. I cannot predict why they are shutting down their entire application, but updating any single functionality cannot be the reason for that.
Okay, so for one function, they need not like turn down the app and everyone can use it.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
So
okay.
just understand the service. What is service? Anything can be a service. Okay. So Paul, you have not missed much. Okay. You have not missed much. We have just started service-oriented architecture and you are good to start with. Okay. Otherwise, you will have the recording in YouTube. I cannot go back again because a lot of participants are here.
Sure, thanks.
Okay. So I hope everyone understood what is service. Okay. Again, I have already defined this. Many services can be used in conjunction as a service mesh to provide the functionality of a large software application. Okay. I have already gave you the example. Facebook, many services. I will again go back to the Facebook. Many services, posts, about, friends, photos, videos, reels, many things. All are working in conjunction, right? As a service mesh to provide you the functionality of a large software application. So Facebook is the best example of a large software application. There are many things, many features, right? So all the features are not written together. They are not closely coupled. Okay, they are loosely coupled. Loosely coupled means they all are discrete functions. They can operate without each other also. If one fails, it is not necessary that the other will also fail. Okay. Okay. So SOA integrates distributed, separately maintained, and deployed software components. Okay. So I have already told you, distributed means all the services are maintained separately, right? And maybe on the different platforms as well. So you must be aware that now Instagram is also under Facebook, right? Right? And when you update any photo in Facebook, you have an option to update it in Instagram also parallelly. You need not to do it twice. Once in Facebook, you will update. So I will show you that. So let me go to the Facebook. Suppose I want to update one photo here. So I'm not very sure in the desktop version they give this Instagram feature or not, but in the mobile device they give. Okay. Okay, forget it. Okay. But in mobile device, they have the option to update in the Instagram also. But when the Instagram was developed, there are chances that Instagram was developed on a different platform, like on .NET. Facebook was developed, suppose, on Java, right? There are chances, correct? Anyone thinks that the entire application on the on the internet, everything is developed on the same platform, same technology? No, it is not possible,
No,
right?
no, it's not.
Not possible. But Facebook overtook Instagram. Now, how their applications are interacting? They were distributed, right? They were distributed across the platforms. They were separately maintained, right? And deployed in the different, maybe deployed at the different servers. So SOA gives you this luxury, okay, to integrate everything together. Service-oriented architecture gives you that facility to integrate distributed, separately maintained, and deployed software components, okay? So it is enabled by technologies and standards that facilitate components communication and cooperation over a network, okay? So like I am interacting with you, how it is possible? It is possible through the internet, right? So that is a network. We all are interacting with each other over a network, right? And through WebEx, WebEx is a protocol, right? And internet is our network. Same way, SOA uses many technologies and standards, okay, to integrate distributed, discrete functionalities together, okay, through internet protocol networks, okay. Then SOA is related to the idea of application programming interface. So now, what is application programming interface? Again, we will go to Facebook. And again, I will open my profile. So this is an interface for the user, right? This is an interface for the user. You have clicked on friends, all your friend list appeared here, right? But think from logic layer, okay? They may not be having this. If you have to work only on the get friend list, they will not be having this interface, right? Where they can click, right? So it needs something like your session ID, like my profile name is Salish Shantu, right? So at least they will need this for which user you want friend list. Friend list is user specific, right? My friend list is different. Your friend list is different. So get friend list service will need at least the user information for which user the friend list is needed. But how to pass those information to the service? Because this Facebook front-end interface will not be available to test or to develop that get friend list. So for having the feel of the discrete services, the idea of application programming interface was introduced. Okay, so it is an interface or communication protocol between different parts of computer programs intended to simplify the implementation and maintenance of software. Okay, so two services interact with each other, right? So they need some protocol defined that how the communication will happen, in what format you will send the request, in what format I will send you the response, right? So anyone here who is from South India? Anyone? I need one volunteer.
Yes, I'm from South India.
What's your name?
My name is Reshma.
Reshma. So from which part of India you're? Which state, Reshma?
Kerala?
Kerala. So your mother tongue must be Malayalam, right?
Yes, yes.
I am from Bihar, right?
Okay,
So my mother tongue is Bhojpuri, right?
okay.
If I'll start talking in Bhojpuri, will you be able to understand anything?
No,
And if you will start talking in Malayalam, will I be able to interpret anything?
no.
No, right? But
Yeah.
we both are talking together. Why? How? How we are talking together? Means how we are interacting in this
Yeah, it's through
medium.
what
English,
that?
right? A
English.
common
Yeah,
language.
English. Common language. Yeah.
Common language. But for English also, you have to construct your sentences based on the grammar, right?
Yes, yes.
If I will not construct my sentences properly, right,
Yeah,
you may not be able to understand it properly or miss something.
correct.
And same applies to you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So these are the protocols, right? If Resma and I have to interact, the English language should be used. English should follow a right grammar,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
Correct?
yeah.
So that is how two services or two applications also interact. They may be developed on different technologies. They may be deployed on different servers, but they can interact if there is a contract between them. That you will send a request in this format, I will send you the response in this format. Okay, you have to follow this standard, you have to follow this standard, right? there must be some contract, correct?
Yes.
Then an API can be thought as the service and SOA the architecture that allows the service to operate, okay? So API is a way to have a feel of services, okay? API is the interface of the service. So API, you can understand API as a service for now, okay? Suppose API is a service, any service. And SOA is the architecture which allows the interaction of one API with another API or one API with other components, okay? Clear till here, everyone? Anyone has any question? No? Okay,
No.
all right. Good then, you all are intelligent people. So there are three components of SOA, okay? There are three components of service-oriented architecture, right? So service consumer, service broker, service provider, right? I am the service provider, Resma is service consumer, English is service broker. Got it? Resma's OS is developed in Malayalam, my OS is developed in Bhojpuri, but we are interacting with each other with the help of English.
English. Yes.
Got it? I'm giving you very simple examples, okay? I may not be using the perfect definition, okay, from any book definition, but I want you to understand it, okay? Then you can read any literature or any content in the internet. You will be able to understand this, okay? If you have the basic understanding. So this is how communication happens in SOA. So the high level SOA representation, okay? So this is SOA. SOA has four main components. One, application front end, okay? So front end, you already know Facebook front end is there. Then there are services. A lot of services are integrated to present you the application front end, right? And then if services are there, many services are there, there should be one repository where all the services will be there, right? The definition of all the services will be there. And then there will be a need of service bus. So what is this service bus? The most important part of SOA. Okay, it is very simple, but the most important part of SOA. Now, service again has three main components. Contract. I have already defined that if myself and Risma has to interact, English should be the language, right? We both should be connected to the internet. We both should be using WebEx. This is the contract, three contracts, right? Then the implementation, the code, okay, through which the communication will happen. So if suppose Resma sends the request in Malayalam, right? So I need some interpreter which will understand her language and it will translate it to me, right? Then only I will be able to understand, right? Right? So some implementation needs to be there, right? And then the interface, how the communication will happen, where she will send the request, where she will receive the response. Some interface is needed, right? For Facebook, you have a luxury, right? You have the mobile app and everything. But think about the services. Services are discrete functionalities. They are code, right? They are code. You cannot see any interface for that. So for that, we create one interface, okay? We define that the request should be received here, the response will be sent here, you have to read from here, okay? Like that. I will describe everything in detail, don't worry. Again, the implementation has business logic and data. So Facebook has implementation, get friend list has been implemented, okay? So it has business logic. Business logic means it has filters. You can filter by recently added, you can filter by recent birthdays, by work, by university. So some logic is applied, right? Some logic is applied there. And it has data. What are data? All my friends are data, right? They are data. For a developer or for a tester, these all are data, nothing else. For me, they are my friends. For Facebook, it is data. So in SOA testing, we usually test business logic. Read it very carefully. We test business logic, this one, implemented with help of data, right? we will test business logic with help of data as per the contract, okay, as per the contract using the interface. Again, we will test business logic with help of data as per the contract using interface. Okay, you will not get this simplified definition of SOA testing anywhere in the internet. Okay, I have written this for you. So if you want, you can note it down somewhere. This is the bottom line of SOA testing. This is what you will be doing if you join any SOA testing team. And if you are clear about this simple definition, you will never miss anything. Okay, going forward. So when I defined the SOA component, I told you about the service bus, right? So what is service bus? So now I will give you a basic representation of SOA. So this is a basic representation of SOA. The actual picture is very complex, but if I'll show you, you all will be scared, okay, and you will leave the course, okay. So I don't want to show you so that real complex picture. So this is a very simple representation which I have created for you. So this is the consumer layer. So you and me, right? Human browser users, okay? Like Facebook we are using. So when we click on our name, something happened at the back end, right? Something must be happening at the back end, right? They detect that what you have requested, that request comes to service bus, okay? So they detect, okay, the user has clicked on get profile data, right? This is what this is a get profile, right? Get profile information. You're opening your profile, correct? So it detects what has been requested, okay, and what all intermediate means underlying requests are there. So there can be one call to friend list, another call to videos, another call to photos, right? So all the different systems, again, the photos can be on different system, on different service, right? The videos can be on different database. Your photos can be on different database, right? So the request will come here. I will try to draw for you, okay? Then you will be able to, I don't know whether I will be able to or not, but let me try. I will try to give you a pictorial representation. Give me a moment. I'm not sure how to do that. I can do that, right? Yes, I can do that. So first let me go at the bottom of the page and then I will draw for you. Okay, here I will draw for you. So suppose this is the structure. Okay, so I'm sorry for the bad drawing. So this is a rectangle. Assume this is a rectangle. Okay, and again there are many ports. What is this? I'm sorry for this. Okay, so there are many ports. So people who have done their engineering, they must have read about microprocessors, microcontrollers, right? So the structure is similar to that. Anyone from engineering background, electronics, electrical? Anyone who wants to volunteer with me here? No one from engineering background? Okay, Kalpana, are you from engineering background? You have
Yes, yes, sir.
okay,
But I'm from computer science.
but still you must have read microprocessors, right?
Yes, yes, we had a subject, but not in depth.
So 8085 microprocessor you must have read. That was the
Yes,
most simple one, right?
that yes.
So
We
the
thought that I wouldn't have passed that. So,
yes. So it was a very difficult subject. I agree. Okay, but so the structure used to look like this only, right?
yes.
Again, I have to draw. Wait for a minute. So this WebEx annotation is very bad actually. Okay. So these are the ports at one side, okay? And these are the ports on the another side. Now, here is Facebook, okay? Now how this annotation works, this is first time for me as well, okay? So you sent a request here, okay? You sent a request here. It detected that you are requesting for the entire profile data, right? It further sent the request here for photo. This is very irritating. Okay. Then it further sent data to another port for videos. Okay, forget about it. Okay, I think you got it, right? Again, the annotation is gone. I don't want to waste time on this, but that is what I wanted to show you. Okay, how that real thing happens. So services are connected to different ports at the other side. You send the request here, and services are integrated to the ports at the other side of the service bus. It is not that simple. Okay, again, I am telling you, but for your understanding purpose, I am giving you a simple picture. Okay, when you grow as a tester in the organization, in any organization, you will come to know about how the real ESB looks like. Okay, so it interprets your request. Okay, sometime it converts also. Okay, so suppose you sent user ID in string format. Okay, a string format, but some service it uh, expecting it is in some other format, right? So the conversion also it does. ESB is a complete solution to implement SOA, okay? For interacting one service with another one. So that is how one request came here. All the further requests will be cached from other side of the ports and from the database, and database can be of different types, right? So suppose one service is connected to SQL database, another service is connected with mainframe. Yes, Janil, what is your question?
Yeah, so what we understand here is that ESP acts like a mediator between point A and point B, where point A is the consumer who is using the service,
Mhm.
whereas point B is the service provider
Mhm.
who, like let's say Facebook, but there is a thin line of ESP which makes us communicate with each other. Is that what
Yes,
you're trying to say with the diagram
yes,
that you were trying?
yes, that's
Yeah.
correct. That's 100% correct. Okay, that is the role of ESP, but that is
Oh,
not the only role of ESP. Okay, so for now, your understanding is correct. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, so what is ESB? It is a software architecture model used for designing and implementing communication between mutually interacting software applications in service-oriented architecture. That is what my picture is depicting, right? This is giving an interface for the communication to happen, right, between different services. So it provides a standardized integration platform that combines messaging, web services. Don't worry about these terms. Again, I will explain everything. Messaging, web services, data transformation, and intelligent routing. So I have already explained you intelligent routing. You requested for profile. It further broke down the request in several parts: get friend list, get photo list, get videos, right? So that is intelligent routing to reliably connect and coordinate the interaction of significant number of heterogeneous applications. This is SQL, this is mainframe, right? Not same type of application, right? That is the meaning of heterogeneous, right? Different type. With transactional integrity. So this is very important, okay? It maintains the transactional integrity, okay? So it provides security as well. So now what ESB can do. Routing, which I have already explained, it do the routing, ability to redirect a consumer request to a particular service provider based on deterministic or variable routing criteria. Okay. Security, I have already told, transactional integrity, contract validation. When I was defining SOA, I told you that contract is very important, right? Now, get friend list will accept the request in one format. Account will accept in another format. Plan service will accept in another format. But you are sending a single request. What it will do? it will convert the request as per the contract for these services. Okay, so it maintains a contract also between the services. Got it? Load balancing. This term I had used earlier, right? If more number of users start using the service at the same time, ESB can handle the detection of breakpoint that this server cannot take more than these many user requests. So it will route the request to some other server also. It has the capability, okay, of load balancing. So load balancing is nothing. It keeps a balance between the load across the servers. So Facebook is not deployed on a single server, right? I hope you all understand that. Facebook is a very large enterprise. So there are many servers of Facebook across the world, right? So which request, my request goes to which server and your request goes to which server is decided by some ESB sort of service bus, right? It routes the, it actually distributes the load, right, in a balanced way to different servers so that none of the servers breaks down. Okay. Message transformation. This I have already told you in the contract, right? So all the services can expect the request in different formats and data type. What is data type? I will come back to that, right? So the message transformation also can be done by ESB. You people need not to do all these things, okay? So don't get scared, okay? So this all is automatic thing. ESB takes care of all these things. Protocol conversion. So protocol, I told you, right? What is protocol? So I told that I will only respond to messenger pings in Facebook, right? Right? If many users pinged me in Facebook post also, but I didn't respond, right? So if ESB, if we will keep ESB in place, it can convert your chat pings into messenger messages. Got it? It has the capability to convert the protocol. Like it had sent in, the request was sent through one protocol, but this service does not accept that protocol. Okay, because it was some other company which was overtaken by Facebook. Okay, but now this service does not expect the request to be in that protocol. So ESB will convert the request in that protocol before sending it to this service. Any question till here? No. Okay. So message enhancement. It allows to make some changes in client request before sending it to provider system, like changing data type and date format. Okay. So this is very simple. So suppose you are sending date in some specific format, but the provider system needs it in some other format, right? So ESB can change that data type. Developers can put a wrapper or develop a code to change the code in ESB. Okay. Decoupling. What is decoupling? So I told you loosely coupled system. This is an example of loosely coupled. All the systems are discrete, single entity. If this fails also, customer service fails also, account service will give you the service, plan service will give you the service, right? Suppose now ESB is not there and directly you are going from here to here, then here, then here, right? If there is no router in between, how you will approach the three providers at the same time? In linear manner, right? One by one, right? If anyone fails, if one fails, the entire request will fail after that, right? So that is a tightly coupled system where they are interacting directly with each other and linked with each other. So that is coupled system, right? Tightly coupled. So ESB gives you a luxury of having the decoupling, loosely coupled system. Service orchestration. So this is nothing, but all the services are working in conjunction to perform a business, right? So that is your service orchestration. Okay, so all the definitions are done. So now we will start. Give me a moment. My phone is ringing. Just let me disconnect that call. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. There was a call on my mobile. So yeah, so we are very near to start our practical journey now. Okay, what's the time right now? We have time 15 minutes, right? Okay. So common messaging services, web services used in SOA, right? I told you the call, right? The services like this services, customer service, account service, plan service, right? All these are services. So services can be of any type. So the common services used in enterprise are REST API and SOAP web services. There are many more, okay? But these are two of the common services, REST API and SOAP web services. So the abbreviation for REST is representational state transfer, okay? And SOAP is simple object access protocol, okay? I will describe all of these. So REST is an architectural style which uses HTTP protocol. What is HTTP protocol? You are using internet, search anything here in Google, anything. This is HTTP protocol. All the communications are happening through HTTP protocol, right? Over internet. You are opening any website. See, HTTPS. Can you see that here? The communication happened through HTTPS protocol, right? So this is HTTP protocol. You are trying to browse any website. The communication is happening through HTTP protocol. So REST is an architectural style which uses HTTP protocol. Means it is sending data in the same manner how you are sending data here. So let's copy the entire URL. Have you ever analyzed this URL? When you searched something, search SOA. You only concentrated on the results which Google presented to you, but have you ever seen the entire URL? No, right? Today we will see it. Let me paste it here. Can you see that? For a simple SOA keyword, this big URL is going to the server side. You had typed only google.com, and then in the search box you have typed SOA, right? Then what are all this data? And what is this question mark doing here? Have anyone ever analyzed this URL before?
No.
No, right?
Mm.
So this is what the SOA tester does, okay? You have to test based on these URLs, okay? I will describe how. So let's go back to our Word file, okay? So REST is an architectural style which uses HTTP protocol, okay? The same way how we are sending requests through browser, whereas SOAP itself is a protocol, okay? Simple object access protocol, okay? There are factors based on which companies decide which web service to use, okay? Basic advantage of each type can be referred here. You can go to a SmartBear website, okay? And you can see what is the difference and what is the similarity between SOAP and REST. I don't want to waste time here. There are numerous documents on the internet about this, okay? And you can gather information. I will tell you the practical here, okay? What is the difference? So the basic difference, REST is faster, SOAP is more secure, okay? Where you want faster service, company uses REST. Where they want secure service, they use SOAP. Which bank will use which service, REST or SOAP?
Soap.
So,
Correct, okay? REST is lightweight, SOAP is heavy to process. So which has the benefit?
rest.
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 REST interface is easy to understand. SOAP becomes very complex sometimes. Which is easy to learn?
Rest.
Rest. Rest.
REST, correct? REST supports browser compatible message formats. SOAP supports only XML. Are you aware of XML? What is XML? XML looks like, 1 minute. Do I have any XML? No. let me show you one XML then, okay? This is a XML. This is XML for you, okay? If you have never seen it before, you will not be able to understand anything. And this is a very simple XML for your information, okay? This is a very simple XML. I can very easily read it, or anyone who has experience in XMLs or prior experience in XML, they can very easily understand this, okay, this XML. But the people who have never worked, they will find it difficult, okay? Because
HTML and XML both are same or different?
what? Sorry?
HTML and XML?
No, HTML is different thing. This is a markup language. HTML is for presentation, right? For the UI. HTML you use for presenting something, right? At the front end. XML is used for data transfers, for communications.
Okay.
Between the components. Okay. So depending on these 4 lines, which looks better, REST or SOAP?
Rest.
Rest.
So that's why we
Rest.
will learn REST. Okay. And REST is used across all the corporates nowadays. I don't have the exact figure, but I can very confidently say more than 90% enterprise has already shifted to REST. And whoever has not shifted to REST completely, they are in process of shifting to REST. Okay.
So even the banks and those locations as
Yes,
well?
I'll come to that. I'll come to that. Next point is that only. Okay. So bank, financial organizations, and organizations which are interacting with legacy systems. What are legacy systems? Very old databases, mainframes. Okay. Very old. So banks are very scared to change their provider system. Okay. Because a lot of customer data are involved, right? And if any data leak happens, it will be huge trouble for them, right? Right? A lot of financial losses can also happen. So they don't want to change. Okay. So they are using legacy systems, and legacy systems only understand SOAP. Okay. So banks, financial organizations, and organizations which are interacting with legacy system used to prefer SOAP over REST. But now here is your answer. But nowadays, even they are trying to expose REST APIs for consumers, which internally calls SOAP services. So on top of SOAP services, they are developing REST APIs. So the service consumer, the service will get the REST interface, okay, to send the request, which is much simpler to understand, okay? But they will write some logic, some coding, okay, which will convert the REST API into SOAP before sending it to the another provider system. You got it? Why consumers like REST? Read these points. You all are clear that REST is simpler, right? To implement also, to learn also, for everything, REST is simpler. But SOAP is also relevant, okay? SOAP is more secure. Why it is more secure? I will tell you that. Okay, so let's see SOAP and REST. So now I will open my SOAP UI for the first time, okay, in this course. So this is a SOAP project. Let me minimize all of these. So this is a SOAP project. This is how a SOAP service looks like. So this is a very simple application, calculator, okay. So calculator has 4 operations. So one service, one SOAP service, calculator SOAP service has 4 operations inside it. Right? So this is the XML which I have shown to you, right? One XML I had opened, right? 1 minute. Oh, a lot of things I have opened. So this is XML. So that is the web service, okay, which I have opened in SOAP UI. This is the definition of that web service. So like you can see here, sequence type is addition, right? Minimum occurs int A, int B, then add response, subtract, many things are there, okay? So don't bother time to understand that. So I will open one sample request of SOAP. This is how SOAP consumer providers expect the request, okay? So it will have one SOAP envelope, okay? So many of you, I don't know what is your age, okay? So when I was young, I used to write letters to my relatives, okay? I used to send a letter to my grandfather, to my uncle, right? So when we were child, right? So my father used to tell me, he used to take me to the post office, okay? and give me 4 inland letters. That write 1 letter to your grandfather, 1 to your uncle, 1 to your some other relative. Okay. So which letter was more secure? The one which you used to put inside an envelope, or the one which was just a postcard letter? Which was more secure?
Inside one.
Inside one. So that answers the question why SOAP is more secure. You are putting all the data which you are sending to provider system inside one envelope. Okay. You can put your authorization details here inside the headers, and unless anyone has those details, they cannot open this. Now you got it why banks want to use SOAP? Because your account details, your payment details, everything is going with this communication, right? They don't want to expose it. Now think about sending this information on a postcard. Anyone will be able to see. I am sending this request in Google Chrome. Anyone can see that, right? It is going in the browser. It is going in the browser, right? Anyone can hack it. Correct? It is not that simple, but there are chances, right? It is visible, right? If you will send this communication over a server, anyone can hack it very easily. But if you will put it inside an envelope, it will be very tough, right? And further, there is an inbuilt security you can put inside the header. Okay, in this service, unfortunately, there is no authorization given, and I don't have any example in open source web services, so I won't be able to show you that. Okay, but inside this header, you can put your SSL things. Okay, so without that SSL information, no one will be able to open your message. Okay, so this is not encryption. Okay, encryption is done for the data. Okay, this is the entire request. So this is also encryption. You can say this is encryption. We are encrypting it, but actually not actual encryption. Okay, encryption happens for the data. You mask something, right? You convert data into something before sending it. Right, so this is SOAP for you. Okay, so it is very simple. So I will show you. This is add operation. I will give 5 and 4 and run it. There is a play button here, right? I will run it. You will get a response here. Go to the XML tab. See the result you have got. Add result is 9. This is how the calculator on your mobile application works. Right? Whenever you click on 5 plus sign, whenever you click on plus sign, this service gets invoked. And left and right side of the plus sign gets added to give you the result. This does not work exactly in your mobile, but you can try to understand like that. Okay, this is how it works. In the raw, you can see what is the response happened. 200 OK means whatever you had requested, you have received it. OK means what? Everything is fine, right? That is the meaning of OK. Means you have received whatever you had requested. Now give here A. A is not a numeric value. Now try to run the service. You have got 500 internal server error because your request is not correct. Right? See what it is saying, protocols, and a lot of information is there. You need not to understand all those things, but all the information will come why it has failed. Okay. So this is SOAP. We are not covering SOAP in this course, okay, because it is now irrelevant. Very less means from the last, I think 10 years, I have not tested any SOAP service, and I am completely into SOA testing. I had tested SOAP services in the beginning of my career. Nowadays also I used to test once in a while, but not for a project. Sometimes they tell me that there is one legacy service. Can you see the behavior of it and whether it is same behavior in the REST API or not? So for comparison purpose, I see the existing SOAP services, but I don't test those. Okay. And most of the companies have already got rid of SOAP because it was very tough to understand for testers and the consumers. Okay, now I will show you how REST looks like and why we prefer REST. So this is the interface. I think you got it. right? This is the interface. You have to send request like this. So you will receive response like this. So this is the interface of the service. Like in Facebook, we were having the entire screen. We were just clicking and we were getting the data. For service, we don't have that luxury, right? You have to send the request in some pattern, right? Some according to the contract. What is the contract? It should be an integer. Int A should be an integer. Integer means a numeric value. Int B should be an integer. It cannot be a string or character, right? This is the contract. The protocol is SOAP. We are sending the request with SOAP protocol. We are following the contract that both my input parameters must be numeric. Then only the provider will respond, right? The name of this field should be add result, right? Let me open the calculator for you. This is calculator, right? When I pressed 5 plus 3, right, is equal to 8, right? So at the back end where the services are operating, so when you click on is equal to, it is expecting result in some specific field, right? That I should get 8 inside this add result only. Then only I will be able to understand that that is the result. If it comes with, suppose it comes, there is some spelling mistake, RESUT, L is not there. Your calculator at the front end may not be able to understand, right? Where is my response? And the application will error out. So that is the relevance of contract. Everything is fixed. You will send request in this format. You will receive response in this format. And that is how your front end integrates these services. How to send the request? When you send a request, when you click on get friend list, your session ID, your user ID goes to the service in some specific format. And then it fetches the entire friend list in a specific format and it presents it to you, right? And then your front end designs it that how to present to you, okay? That is the front end thing. But the service expects in a specific format request and it sends the response in a specific format. This is SOAP service. Now I will show you how the REST service looks like. See how easy it is. One mobile number, one consumer ID. Send, you will get response. Form type of thing, no XML, nothing. It is asking for mobile number, I gave mobile number. I will give some invalid mobile number which does not exist in the system. You will get a very good error here. Backend error, no customer found. Right? Everything is user readable, browser readable. And this language is called as JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. Okay? So now the terms associated with SOAP, WSDL, Web Service Description Language. Resma, you are still here, right? Resma from Kerala.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So Web Service Description Language. So English is a language, right? English. We have decided this language we will communicate. That is WSDL for SOAP between two consumers, between two services. Okay. And XSD is its grammar. Me and Resma are communicating with each other in English. Our English is following some grammar. Then only myself and Resma are able to understand each other. For SOAP service, you need a WSDL where all the things are defined. So this is the WSDL. Let me open that. This is the WSDL. This is a WSDL file. Can you see that? WSDL. Inside that, if you will read it carefully, you can see element name is add. Add has a complex type and sequence is int A, int B. Type is integer. It can happen only once in request. Minimum occurs 1, maximum occurs 1. So all the rules and regulations are written inside WSDL. SOAP UI tool is just interpreting this rule, okay, and creating a sample request for you. when I shown you this SOAP project, right? So SOAP UI has read that WSDL and created one sample request for you according to the contract. Otherwise, how you'd have tested this? You need one tool, right? Some interface you need. You can do it with Java code, okay? But at the beginning of your career, if I'll tell you how to test it with the Java code, you will stop learning, okay? So learn with SOAP UI. 70 to 80% of the companies operate with SOAP UI because they also don't have that much expertise in operating with Java, okay? Because not everyone is developer here in all the companies, right? A lot of other people are also there who may not be able to understand the technology, but they want to see how the services work. So many companies, like my current company also uses SOAP UI, Ready API. Okay, some tools they use. Clear? XML, I have already told, this is a language for the communication between the services. Now, what is the time? So another 7 minutes. If anyone has to leave, please let me know. I will close the today's session here itself. Otherwise, I will continue for another 7 minutes. Everyone fine? Janil, you have raised your hand. Do you want to ask something?
No, I don't want. I don't know. It is still there.
Okay,
Shouldn't be
no
there.
problem. No problem. So the terms associated with REST, okay? So in the similar way, for SOAP, we had WSDL, Web Service Description Language. For REST, we have WADL, okay? Or YAML, okay? And the language used is JavaScript Object Notation. I have already shared this, how a JSON looks like. JSON is just a way to send the data, okay? This is the JSON format, okay? I will explain everything in detail, okay? Our practical is going to start from the next class. From the first minute, the practical will start. We have covered all the theory, okay? API is application programming interface. This is API interface. Whatever you are seeing on the screen, request, response, URL.
So do we need to learn XML, JSON, and all those things?
No.
No?
You need
Just
not to create anything. Everything will be created by developers. You just need to test it. But
but
for
we
testing
should
of
get understanding how they work.
yes, so if you are testing, you should be able to understand, right? So this is very easy, right? So see, there is one curly braces inside that result is the field, its value is backend error. Again, second value is source, its value is FWIC API gateway. Error details, why this request has failed? There is one error code associated, mob 1001. What is the description of that error code? That no customer found for this mobile number. Is it tough to understand?
No.
It is easy to understand, right? Suppose for a success scenario, I have passed one mobile number. I am getting the customer ID for that mobile number. I am getting the name. So I have given just a Jack Sparrow, okay, from Pirates of Caribbean. Date of birth, the email ID, and one remarks that customer has escalated the bad help desk resolution on last call, handle with care. So this is a service which I have developed for you guys to learn, okay? I have developed this service so that because there were no open source service available at this point of time. So I have developed this service, okay, for you guys. So this is how the JSON looks like, okay? And what is WADL, okay? What is WADL? What is YAML, okay? I will tell you those things. We have still, Jayesh, you have raised your hand. Please ask your question quickly.
Yeah, my question here is that when I'm not from a IT background, when there is an error that takes place, now is it a one service request which you will be testing and it will show you the error for one, or there will be multiple things that will be tested at the same time and the error will show up? Will it be color coded for someone, for a lame person, for me to understand?
No, so you have to understand with the, so I will explain those things, okay, in detail, okay, don't worry. From day 3 will be practical, only practical, how to write a test case, how to understand the request, how to understand the response. I will tell you everything in detail, don't worry about this. So first 2 classes was theory because you need to understand something before starting practical, right? So next 3 classes will only be practical how a project runs in a company. So after completing those 3 classes, you will be able to write in your resume that I have worked in one project.
Okay, thank you.
Because I have created this project for you, okay? I have created services for you, okay? So let me finish till here, okay? Till point 8. So endpoint. Endpoint is nothing, your server details. So right now the service is deployed on my local system. So that's why it is showing HTTP localhost. Server is Google. www.google.com is a server. It is an endpoint. So wherever your service is deployed, that is the endpoint. Resource URL, the identifier of your API. This is the resource URL, right? So if you will go to raw, this is how your entire URL will look like. Sorry. Oh my God. Wait. I'm a new user of MacBook, and instead of Command C, I always press Control C. Okay. So this thing happens with me most of the time. Okay. So see, this is how the entire URL looks like. So endpoint, like Google, right? Like Google also, there was one endpoint, right? And then the slash, and then the other particulars of our API. So this is the resource URL, which will identify which API you want to trigger on this server. On one server, there can be many APIs, right? Many services.
And what is V1 here?
V1 is the version, okay? Don't worry about that. It is just a path, okay? So when in your laptop also, you must be keeping some movies or songs under some hierarchy, right? That personal, then music, right? Inside music, movies, right? Inside movies, you keep all your movies, right?
Yes.
So APIs are also not deployed directly under servers. So there is some hierarchy, right? In the servers also, some folder structure, you can think of that. So V1 is the first folder structure. Inside that, customer is kept. After that customer, there is another subfolder, info, and inside that your code is there.
Okay.
Okay. In simple language, I want to tell you, okay, because most of you are not from IT background, so I don't want to give you a complex definition. Okay. Methods. What is method? In Facebook, you can add your picture, you can delete your picture, you can update your status update, right? So when you are querying something, you are getting something, right? So get is a method, right? Get friend list. You are not posting anything. You are just retrieving what is already there in the server. Post. You are updating your update in Facebook. It is using a post method. You are sending something. You can update your status update, right? Edit button is there. The things which is already there, you are just making some minor changes. That is a put call. You are deleting your profile picture. That is a delete method. Okay, these are the methods, most common methods. There are others also, but apart from these methods, I have not tested anything in last 4 or 5 years. I have tested others also, but in last 4 or 5 years, only these methods I have tested. There is one more which you may experience when you start is patch. So patch is very similar to put. Okay, so put is for a small data, patch is for large data update. So it is a common talking language, right? Get, post, put, delete, patch. You can understand by reading itself what each method should do, right? Then parameters. So when we are sending parameters, so in our request we are sending parameters, mobile number, consumer ID. So these two parameters we are sending to get the response of this API, right? So parameters can be of different types. It can be template, it can be header, it can be matrix or plain, right? Or query, right? So the main ones are template, query, and header. I will explain all these things in day 3. So let's stop theory part here and jump to the practical part. So congratulations and thank you for being with me through all these theory parts. From day 3, we will start the practical. Okay. I have all the resources created for you guys. So let me show you just a glimpse of that. Okay. So this is a Jira board for the project management. I have created a project for you and how a project runs in a corporate. I will show you that. This is the YAML, the definition of all the REST APIs. Don't get scared of this black console and all. These are very simple. I will explain everything to you. Okay. So all these things I have created, the APIs I have developed, which you can see in SOAP UI, right? So these are the services which I have developed for you guys to learn. Okay, so let's see how many services I have developed. I have developed get customer info, get customer detail, and update account plan. Okay, so these three APIs we will test together. We will write test cases, test scenarios, everything we will do together, and we will see how a project runs, and then we will automate it. Okay, so we have already overshooted 12 minutes. Thanks everyone for joining the session. So this is the official end of the session. If you have any question, you can ask, but let me stop the recording and YouTube is streaming first. Thanks everyone.